and emotion. Over to you, my Lord. Welcome.
Hello, am I audible?
Yes, ma'am, we can hear you.
Okay. Hello everyone. Good evening. I don't know what time you guys are there. Um, I'm going to be okay. One sec. Okay. So good day everyone.
Good night.
I am not sure. It's nice to like see everyone's face. I can see some mamas. Their cameras are on. Nice to have you all here. So let me before I say anything, um, let me give a quick introduction about myself. So my name is Balqeez Mustafa. Yeah, I'm a Nigerian like every one of us. But yeah, I live in Europe presently. I am a mother of three. I have almost 14 and 11, almost 11 as well, and a 7-year-old. In the years past, I'm someone that I got married early in life, and as a then, while in Nigeria, you know how once you get married, the next thing is you have kids. Even when you're ready, whether you're ready or not, like the next step is you're married, you just have kids. And as at that time, I was still a student. I was already pregnant. We had our son, and we were just living life like normal and all of that. But later in life, I started realizing that there's a whole lot of things that, as a mom and a parent, that we could do for our children. And there's a whole lot more involved in motherhood than just, giving your children food, waking up. Because normal, like the way our parents trained us, you what we take as parenting is you um, feeding your kids, wake up early, clean the house, the regular thing, send them to school. Once they go to school, and they are doing well in school, that's parenting. In this day and time, I'm sure that for you to even join this class, it already means that you're understanding that parenting is not just that. It's not just that your child is thriving in school, or you are seeing them at home, you are giving them meals and all. There's a whole lot more in parenting that we parent of this day need to like take into cognizance, right? So when I started noticing that oh, I don't have the knowledge of this, I don't have the knowledge of that, how else can I parent better than how my parents parented me? By the way, I'm an orphan and I learned this parenting on my own. And when I had to like register myself for positive parenting course, and my eyes started opening to, okay, so I could have done this when my child was this age. I could have started teaching them this and that. You know, I felt like okay, it's not too late. I can still start now and still have a very articulated child, and um you know, that would not be healing from my parenting in years to come. And that was how, I started my parenting journey more, informed way. So that is me. Nice to meet you all. And so the topic for today, as our host, I said, so thank you for having me, our host. Thank you so much. um, yeah. So the topic for today is understanding teens, emotions, and behavior. It is really a very, by the way, I have my kids here. They're actually listening in into this conversation. So it's feeling more like something that is not staged, because it is how like I'm actually living my life right now, because I have a teen and I have preteen as well. So this topic is a very delicate one, and even though broad, it's not something that we can just finish in few hours. But I'll try as much as possible to like give a whole lot of information information and value and all of that. So one thing I'm going to be promising by the end of this class is that you're going to get like practical insights on how you can build stronger connection and healthier team parent relationship with your kids, right? You must get that out of this conversation that we're having today. So I'll quickly highlight the things that we're going to talk about so that today, so you have in mind what we are going to be doing at each particular time. I'm timing myself, by the way. So we are going to talk about how the teen brain works, and for whatever behavior that your teen is having right now, we are going to talk about why your teenager is acting that way. So you are aware, because awareness is number one. Once you are aware about a particular thing, you would then seek for solution, knowledge, or whatever thing that you need for that awareness, right? Then another thing we'll be talking about is the 5 causes of emotions that humans have, especially teenagers. Then we move to the common triggers. What are the things that set things off, and why it makes sense? Because when you understand why they are doing some particular things, you will then be able to know how to address those things that they are doing, right? From a positive parenting approach, I'm going to also give you how to respond to those their common triggers, right? Their behaviors. I'm going to give you insight on how to react to them as their parents. We're also going to talk about how you can build connection with them through their teenage years, and so that you can actually have this bond with them, because that's actually what matters. Then we'll talk about real examples. I'll give you my own real life examples. I'm also going to be asking you to talk about those things that you're seeing in your kids. Maybe you want to walk around them, or you just want to use it to like show us as an eye opener, and we talk about it. So those are the things that we're going to be talking about today during this call. So now we are moving to the teen brain. How exactly does the teen brain work? So in science, they told us that the prefrontal cortex of the brain, that's the part that the brain used to control decision making, impulse control, and emotional regulation, right? It is not fully developed, and even it does not even develop when they're 18. It fully develops when they are 25, right? So what does that mean in actual words, right? It means that for whatever behavior your teen is showing right now, it is not because that thing is bad, or the thing is broken, or they are even doing it intentionally or deliberately to maybe make you sad or unhappy or something. It just means that their brain is actually not fully developed, right? It's just like when you have a construction, you are constructing a house, and you've done the skeleton, like you've done the foundation, you've built it to some certain age, but you are not done. Even though the building is there, like you can see the building, that this is my house that I'm building, but that building is there, it's not done. You still have interiors to do, you still have some things to fix inside. That's what it means when I say that their prefrontal cortex is not fully developed, right? So and in actual behavior of a teen, what does that prefrontal cortex not fully developed, what does it mean in actual behavior? It means that they are not using logic yet. They are going to be acting via emotions, right? It means that they will have like big reactions that looks like maybe like manipulation to your own eyes, right? They will have big reactions to small things, or to things that feels big to you, but to them, you don't really, it does not, it's not deep like that to them, right? Another thing it means is that you would think that they are actually withdrawing from you and they prefer their friends more, but what it means for them is not that way. It's temporary for them. They can like lean towards their peers, like their friends more, while they want to get out of from you. They want to, it just feel like they are prioritizing their friends more than you, right? Which is like a very big deal for the parents. They feel like, oh, this child does not like me, and all of that. And you see, another thing that does for them is that they take risks and it feels good for them. You see some things, they'll be like, I want to move out of your house. You people, you are no, you are not a good parents. I want to, like, they feel like they should leave the house. It is just that they are hyperactive. They are seeking thrill. They have this, unexhausted energy to do things. I'm going to talk about how you are going to react to all of those things, but right now I'm talking about what they would do because their prefrontal cortex is not yet, fully developed, right? So those are the traits for them right now. I hope you are still here and you guys can still hear me.
Yes, ma'am, we are here, ma'am.
All right, thank you so much. All right, so and next is for us to talk about like the 5 core emotions. It is very important we understand this in such a way that we need to like relate it to real feelings, real things that are happening on a day-to-day between the parent and the teens, right? When the behaviors I explained earlier, when your child, has that behavior, when it's showing that attitude, when they're showing that attitude, right? What exactly does that attitude means? Because 14, you see them, oh, yeah, they are this active, they are like, oh, I want to leave your house, or they are not just okay with your decisions. We as parents will want to like, oh, you need to go to school, you need to score this mark, you need to, do this, you need to be active. But they are like, you even see some things, they don't want to get out of their rooms. Some things will just like, they will withdraw into their shell. What that means underneath, if it is anger is often a way that they cover up for hurt, embarrassment, or maybe they are feeling unheard. Maybe they say something, they are trying to like tell you something, and they feel like you are not understanding them or you're not listening. They react with anger. So when you have a thing that is showing a whole lot of anger, like you see some things, they are very disastrous. They are very like they show that anger in a certain kind of way that you be like, how I didn't train this child this way, right? Or let's say you are talking to your son or daughter and he enters his room and just slam the door, right? Because you corrected him or her. That is like anger. And what is causing that anger is not because that child is a bad child. It's because it could be that the child is hurt. It could be a hurt in maybe in school, in church, in mosques, however, or is embarrassed because of something, or is feeling unheard. So when you understand why they are doing that, when you see a child showing anger, these are what is under the anger, and those things are what you should work on, not you work on the anger, right? Which is what most of us parents do. Okay, so we'll still talk about how to undo all of this that I'm mentioning, but I want us to like focus on this their action so that we later understand how to react to those actions. Then number 2, we talked about what we are talking about is 5 core emotions, right? That teens show. So number 2 is anxiety. What that means for teens is that maybe you want them to start a club, maybe join a football, join tennis, or whatever sport. You want them to start a sport, and they are like they don't want to go. To parents, it looks like you are rude. I tell you to do this, you're not doing it. That. You're just that's how it feels to you. But what that means underneath for teen is that they feel like they are carrying a whole lot of pressure, like enormous pressure. Um, the pressure could be from school, from social media for things that are already on social media. It could even be identity, right? Or future. Maybe they are just they are just so bothered about how they will turn out in future. Those are the things that are actually on their mind, but how they are showing it is by refusing to. What you are saying is that your child is rude because you asked them to join a particular club and they refuse to join. That's what you are saying, but that's not the exact thing that is happening inside them. What is happening inside them is that they're feeling enormous pressure, right? So the number three thing is shame. Is shame. um you see some children, when you talk to them about something, or maybe they did something, and the way the parents actually spoke about that thing to them um, is somehow to them, and they just feel completely broken, like they shut down because of that. They feel attacked, right? What that is saying under is that uh, they have like all these hidden emotions that is telling them that, oh, they are bad, or they've done something bad, and you just start feeling this shame, and it just shuts them down. Some kids, they'll stay in their room, they won't want to come out, and even when they go to school, you see them, they are moody, they're always moody, they stay on their own, right? That kind of a child, when you like interrogate them, try to find out what is going on, you see that they just feel so down because they feel attacked, right? That's what that means for them. I hope you are understanding how behavior is interpreting into what is actually going on inside of the kids. Okay. Then we have the fourth one is loneliness. So when a child is feeling lonely, a child can be in the midst of family, in the midst of people, right? 1 second, please. Can you return that right now? Right now.
Me?
No. Who else am I talking to? Right now. Alright, thank you. So another, and you are still there? The fourth one is loneliness. When a child, like you see some children, they just withdraw, they'll be very rebellious. You talk to them about something, they just don't want it, like they just don't want to do it. They're just odds, or they feel disconnected from their environment, from you, from their friends. What is actually happening deep down is they feel alone. They feel like they're just alone. Maybe because people do not understand them. They've tried explaining themselves and people do not understand them. They go into their shell and they just disconnect from every other thing or every other person, even their parents, right? The number fifth one is confusion. You see some children, their behavior at home is totally different from who they are in school, or who they are at church, or who they are at maybe parties. You as parents, you be confused as, okay, where did this come from? How do you understand? They would have identity issues. You barely be able to like recognize them. It is because internally they are trying to find themselves. They are really trying to find themselves. They trying to figure out who they are, because in teens, that is when they start building character. Whoever we are right now, we started building that person from when we are 10. So this is the beginning of when they are building their characters. So, and how they show, when they are still confused about who they are, they show it by trying to Oh, maybe I like music. You see them play music today. Oh, maybe it's maths I like. I think I would like to be a doctor. I think I would like to be a scientist. You know, they they're just confused, right? That's teen behavior. So these are the five core emotions that you would see in teens, right? So you should when it's your teen child or preteen, you know, pick any of these five emotion, or you are able to like realize that, oh, this child is being this way in any of the five emotions I mentioned. You should already know what is going on in their mind, because once you are aware of what's going on in their mind, then you can you'll be able to, you know, help them, because that's why we are their parents. We should be able to be there to shape them right from right now, right? So there are a whole lot of things that cause all of those emotions that I mentioned earlier. You see that I only just mentioned the emotion. I didn't really go deeper into what could cause it, why they are behaving that way, and what you can do. So I'm trying to like, I don't want to like fill your head up, you know, so much at the same time. So we'll talk about what are these common triggers that makes them behave this way. So I'm going to be mentioning those behaviors, and we are going to talk about what you can do when you see that kind of behavior, right? Um, we'll start with um, parents. Let's say as a parent, you try to correct your child publicly, maybe because of one of the emotions that they showed that you spoke about earlier. When you do that to your child, right, in their head is like you are humiliating them. They don't take it as you are giving them feedback, or like you are trying to let them be able. No, they take it like this is public criticism. My mom is, you know, humiliating me. Why do you think that some children, when you go to their school, let's say you go to their school, in the house, you guys maybe like you give yourself kiss, so when you go to their school, they won't want you to like kiss them, or they won't want you to show affection. Like some children said they won't want people to see you guys together. You be like, what's going on? You know, it is not because it is not because they don't like you, or you've done something bad, or they don't want to you be seen with you. For them, they are very hyper aware about social. See, they are concerned about their social perspective. They are concerned about how their friends see them. You know, it might even be maybe some of their friends, is it, how do they call this thing, when you are amongst your peers and they are teasing you. Yeah, some of these friends tease them that, oh, you, that your mom still brought food for you, or your mom still comes to check up on you, or your mom still, you know, they don't want that. So they are like, they're trying to, it is very, they are very conscious, right, of social, like of how people see them. It is not a bad thing. It is actually the age they are in at that moment. And what you can do is always try as parents to correct children privately. Never at any point in time, you know, try to bring the correction outside of your home. Even if it's not in your home, you could correct them outside, but let it be private. Not, oh, they are with their friends and they did something, and at that time you are like really emphasizing on those corrections. It is really a very wrong thing to do as a parent to these things, because they are very at that time their emotions are heightened. Their emotion, if they like you, they would like you. If they don't want, like, if they don't like you, they would not care at all. So private correction is very important, right? Another thing that, you know, cause this, especially this particular one I want to mention, and it is called comparison to siblings. It really triggers shame. You know, I mentioned emotion. I mentioned one of the emotion is shame, right? It triggers shame a whole lot. comparison to siblings when you say things like, oh, your brother never does this. Um, um, if it's your brother or your sister, she would not try this with me, or something like that. What he does is he really pushes them to shame and resentment, and it can break sibling relationships. So some parents complain that, oh, my children, they don't like each other, especially when they grow. When they are young and they are doing all those, I don't want to, I don't like you. It might still be, teens emotion and all. But when you have adults, there are some adults that they are not close friends with their siblings. In some homes, you see brothers and sisters, everybody's just doing their thing, differently. That's because of what the parent has caused from comparison from childhood. So we need to be very careful about that, right? So this particular one, I think online, especially on my page, we always have this conversation about screen time cut-offs, right? It is something that we feel like it is small, but for teens, like, it is actually not small at all. And most times when we give teens screen um, we cut them off screen midway, let's say, on every day, let's say weekend. So for example, like myself, we only watch, the kids, they watch TV during the weekend, and let's say they did something wrong, and I'll be like, oh, oh my god, did I go off? Am I still on this call?
Yes, ma'am.
Oh, okay. Okay. Oh, I don't know. I can't see you guys anymore. Okay, I can. Thank you. So let's say, so in our home, when the kids do something now, let's say they did something bad that I don't like, and I'm like, you are not going to have the screen for the next, to everyone. Yes, you are. Oh, okay. Thank you, Madam Aureolua. Thank you. Right, and you say that you're not going to watch TV throughout this week or throughout this weekend because they did something wrong. Yeah, I'm sure that most parents do this a whole lot, and it is actually very wrong, right? My suggestion would be, instead of saying you're not going to watch TV all through this weekend, what you can do is give a 10-minute warning. Make sure that they do that 10-minute warning properly, and when they do, make sure you follow through for that 10 minutes. Means that you make sure that they actually do that 10 minutes, and then allow them continue. Because if you cut off meters, oh my god, what it means that it feels like punishment, and you know that punishment is actually not a good way to correct kids. Instead of punishment, consequences is better. So when you do something, there's always consequences for every action. There is always consequences for every action, and it's actually it is better, sorry, for you to give them that consequence, let them go through the consequences instead of punishing them. So cutting them off throughout their, like, for their normal routine of, let's say they watch TV every weekend, cutting them off totally is actually a punishment, right? And they feel it as a huge punishment for them, which we are not supposed to allow your child to go through that. So we have also most times when children are talking to us, we tend to maybe, almost everyone now, our work is like online, you're always online, you want to check what's going on, or you're actually working, right? But the moment that our kids want to have conversation with us, it is very, very important for us to like leave whatever we are doing and actually listen, right? Listen instead of dismissing them. Even if you are super busy, you could just say, oh, right now I'm very busy. Can I quickly finish whatever I'm doing and get back to you? And make sure you follow through and get back, right? So, and when they do things, so what I'm talking about now is like unheard feelings. Unheard means that they talk to you and um, they feel like the connection is not there, or you did not hear them, or you did not even give the answer that they want. Instead, what we can do is to actually reflect before we respond. What that means is, let's say a teen comes to you and say, oh, at school today, so happened, you know, that thing that happened, like he did or she did, is a bad thing. What we most times do as parents is to like, why did you do that? How did you do that? You know, stuff like that. Why did you do this? Like we're attacking that conversation. Instead, reflect on it and then respond. How best can you respond? It is not attacking that is the right way. Because once you attack, it makes them like go silent and feel like, then when you ask them, they'll be like, I don't know, or nothing. When you ask them, well, how was your day? Or did anything happen today? They say nothing. That is because the previous conversation ended with attacking. You get. So if we actually want our teens to feel heard, right, we need to stop attacking and actually reflect before we respond, so that we can speak on the issue, not attack the issue. I don't know if I'm like clear enough with that.
Yes, ma'am.
All right. So yeah, this particular one, I think a majority of us do this a lot. When they get back from school or from church or from anywhere outdoor, they come in and we are like, how was school? Did you eat? What happened today? Did you do that? You know, we just have like a whole lot of, did you finish your food? Did you submit your assignment? Did you get, you know, the questions are a whole lot, and when the questions are a whole lot, it starts to feel like you're interrogating them. So that one is not like they're trying to connect with them, because I know that we've seen a lot of people say that, oh, talk to your kids so that you can connect with them. Give them space. Like one question is fine, and when you ask that question, go silent. Like listen. So when you go silent, you're like, okay, you are listening and you want to hear from them. So it's better. So you can ask the question like at intervals. That way, let's say you have a whole lot of questions by the way to ask, you want to know, you can ask at intervals. And even when you keep quiet and listen, they even might tell you those things without you having to ask. Those questions you have, they might, you know, give you the answers without you needing to ask them. Right. So this particular last one, which are from the common triggers, is most times because if we follow the parenting pattern from our parent, you will see that they are authoritative, they control, they don't wait to be trusted, right? And some of us still bring those things into how we parent our own children. We need to drop it, right? We need them to trust us and not the other way around, not by force or not by feeling controlled. What happens when a teen actually, you know, like trust you, or when you want to like build trust? Oh my god, oh why? I'm not trying back. Hello. Yeah, I'm waiting to be added back. Who is that? Yeah. Thank you. Hello. Did I drop off or did the call dropped?
The call dropped.
Oh, okay. Oh, we'll have to message people that they can join back.
Yes, and this that's why
I don't know. My people are saying they could not join. I have a group.
okay.
Let me tell them to join back. But why can this person not? Let me see.
People are already joining.
Oh, okay. Yeah, when we have like few people join, we'll just continue. They can always. Were you recording the call, by the way?
Yes.
Okay, so that for people that. Okay. All right. Would you want me to go ahead?
Yes,
Oh,
ma'am.
wait
You
a
can go
minute.
ahead.
Okay. Okay. So we are back. Thank you guys for joining back. So we stopped or we had the curtain session when I was on trust, right? So the trigger for trust 14 is you would see rebellion in things where they feel like you are like over controlling them, and this like happens a lot in most homes where their child does not just want to listen, does not want to follow, the instructions of the parent. It's not because that child is just being overly, stubborn. Yeah, we call it stubborn, that this child is very stubborn, blah blah blah. No, it is not that. It is because you have created an environment where they feel overly controlled instead of you actually, leading with trust. Let them trust you, and whatever you say they feel like, okay, um they can actually follow through with whatever you say. So how can you achieve this is let them have small decisions, and these small decisions could be something as tiny as, so we have this every weekend thing that we do where we plan our coming week. And when we are doing that, I let them like suggest meals that they want us to have. I let them like they have input on, so they have sports, they have this, so we put them on the sheet and all of that. So while we're having that meeting, they also have input. They feel like they are part of something, they feel respected as well because their opinion actually matters when we are doing those things. You've given them the ability to make like their own small decisions, so it just builds, when you do it long enough, it builds that trust from parents to children. So those are the major triggers that causes those emotions, the 5 emotions, the 5 core emotions. So what are we now going to do about all of these things that I've mentioned? So I'm going to be talking to you on these based on my knowledge about positive parenting, because that's what I believe in. Not because positive parenting is more like, it is not passive, it is just you as a parent actively trying to do better for your kids, trying to be better parents, and also trying to get the better part of your kids, and which is what actually runs the world. But because if we ourselves as humans, we are working on ourselves to be a better version of ourselves at every point in time, we'll be able to like give the world a better version of ourselves at every point in time. So whoever I am right now, because I keep trying to be better, right? When we meet again next year, or when you see, maybe it's my post, or you see me again, by let's say in future, next year, next 2 years, I would already be like a better version of how you met me the previous years, right? So that's why I actually believe in positive parenting a lot. So in this, I'm going to be talking about how you can respond to all of this, their emotions, without actually pushing them further away, because most times our reaction, dictates how our kids are going to see us in future. If the kind of, even not just see us, the kind of relationship you are going to have with your kids in future now, like during this year, teen age is what determines that time. Let me give you this example. There are in some homes, their child calls them like almost every day. You see some women, they will tell you that, oh, I just spoke with my daughter. Meanwhile, in some homes, 3 months, 6 months, they've not heard from their kids. If they don't call their kids, they won't call them. And these children, it's not because they hate them, it's the pattern of parenting that they've attributed in their home throughout the years. That's what builds it. And these things can even be done with me. I remember when I was in university those years, because I don't have parents, but I have this lady. She was my bunkmate. So because we are Muslim, so we were like very close friends. Our parents come to school. I was in Unilag. They live in, I think, Mushin or something. Yeah, sure. They come every weekend. Our mom and dad, they come every weekend, and when they are coming, they will come with food, cooked one, and come with, yeah, they come with mostly cooked one, because she already has uncooked one, like she brings it every beginning of the term. They come with meals, not just for her, for all of us in the room. And she know how, even on weekdays, she'll call them, like when anything happened in school, they are the first, person she would like reach out to. Oh, mommy sick, can you come? Mommy did it is how they have built that their foundation, that their relationship. It is how they built it, and it is what I'm very sure that we are not like so much close right now, but I'm very sure that she still have that relationship with them till now, because they maintained that energy till we graduated. They maintain every weekend. They must come when they are coming. They go to asalatu mosques every Sunday. As they are coming from that salatu like this, they will come to Unilag. So let's start with what I'm going to start with. Is I have this format that I use from my positive parenting lessons, which it is called CALM. So CALM is spelled CALM. So the C, I call it connection. There's nothing. See, right now that I'm speaking with you, what am I trying to achieve with you? I'm trying to connect with you, right? I'm trying to connect with you. I'm trying to establish conversation that could possibly turn to, anything, relationship or anything with you. So we cannot remove connection from anything in this life. The people that have the best of relationships, they connected first. Relationship does not just happen like I cannot just see you now and we are best of friends. You know, we need to actually connect first. And this needs to happen for our kids as well. We need to try as much as possible to get on their level. Get on their level. You getting on their level could be, what does your child likes? Your child likes game. Can you create, time and play that game with that child once in a while? It does not have to be like every time. It just needs to be something that you consistently do. It could be once a month, and you consistently do that once a month at like that. So make sure you try to, if you have multiple kids, try to get at the level of that each children. Some in some child, they like physical play. Take them to park, have that physical play with them. That is you getting to their level. That is you establishing connection with them. Right? Let's say that your child, had any of those emotions that we've explained earlier. You, instead of you just coming out with your, yes, I'm the mother, I'm the one that born you, you will listen to me. Instead of that, you could name that their emotion, because we are talking about connection now. That's why I'm mentioning emotion. You could name that their emotion, and naming the emotion could be, oh, I can see that you are frustrated. I am not here to fight you. Even if you are the most hardened person, if that child is the most hardened person, you saying that would somehow relieve them of that so much of anger and want to listen to you. That is you getting down to their level, and that is connection. If there's anyone here that wants me to give more examples on how to connect with their kids, you can let me know. We can have that during the Q&A. Right. So in CAM we have C, and the next one is A. Acknowledge. When you acknowledge, okay, so every situation does not need you to come in and fix it. A child does something, you do not have to be the Mrs. Fix It every time, right? You could just okay, something happened today, or the child was supposed to, let's say the child was supposed to get you something, and he or she forgets, right? It's not that you just storm out and go and get that thing by yourself. You do not have to do that. You do not have to fix it. You just need to, oh, I sent you something. You just need to acknowledge it. I sent you something. Name that thing. You could just, okay, let's say something happened to them, or they could not finish their homework, right? Oh, that sounds really, let's say the child is not telling you that, oh, mommy, I can't do this thing. Will you help me do it? Oh, I can't, because if you're helping them with everything they cannot solve, you are telling them, or you are showing them automatically that they can easily give up. They can easily just not do things. Yes, it is good to be there for them. You are there not because you want to fix that thing. You are there to assist them. If there's a way you can assist them to get that thing done, you can assist them, but do not do it for them. Your teens is not 7 years old, 8 years old that you just, oh, let me do it for you. No. They should have a sense of responsibility and let them do things by themselves. You could assist them to ensure that they do it properly, but not in the way that you would do it for them. So the acknowledgement is you actually acknowledging that, oh, so this particular, oh, you can't do this homework yourself. Okay, let me see, what is it about? Tell me more about it. Then if you know about it, you can simplify that thing for the child in such a way that, oh, they get it and oh, I can do it now. That is, so if it is behavior pattern, not the homework pattern. Let me use an example of behavior. So we talked about, we had this emotion around, let's say they went for sport, and they've been going for football training several times. And okay, let me use this personal example. So there was this time where this, I think 2 years ago, my son was trying to get into a football club. And in that football club you need to like go for trials. So if you do well, or they have like different criteria of how they pick, the players. So let's say in their criteria, if you like meet the criteria, then they accept you into the club. So he did the first one. I think they didn't accept him. He did the second one too, they didn't accept him. That second one was really painful because we really needed him to like join a club like pretty soon. But I can see the pressure already on his face because he knew that he needs to like get into a club. What did I do? I was just like, I just gave him like a whole lot of reasons why it is they didn't pick him, not because he cannot play or not because he did not do well. It's just not a good fit for their club. And I had to like go and find out how their like criteria is, and how what we can do so that when he tries again he will get picked. So that way, and I told him that, oh, so that we could do this and this and this to prepare you for the next tryout. That released like a bit of the pressure and the disappointment he was feeling about not being picked. So even though I acknowledge that, oh, we could have like done better so he get picked, but if I did not acknowledge the fact that it is not just about him. There are people like you could play well and you still would not get picked. It's not because you don't know what you are doing, or you did not practice well, or you did not do well. It's not just you are not just the right fit for them to pick. So we should try to acknowledge them without judgment. I think that's the word, without judgment. It is very important. So the L in calm is listening. This one we most times overlook it because we're like, I'm listening now. Listening is not, let's say you're still pressing phone and you say you're listening, or you're still working. Some of us will still be working. Maybe you're writing a document, you're on depends on the kind of work you do. You're still working, or you're cooking and your child is actually like telling you things. It has to be full listening. No phone, no interruption, no work. That is listening. At the same time that you're listening, we need to also ensure that we resist that urge. As parents, we always like to give solution to every of our children's problem. Like you want to, we don't want our children to have any problems. We just want to like solve it for them. They are teenager. Remember that from teenager they go to young adults. And as a young adult, as 18, 19, you're already categorized as an adult to the world. They are no longer that your baby. And whatever training you are giving them from these their teenage years is what would actually compound as they go into young adults. So if a child could not fix, let's say a bulb or something, could not fix something, and you rush to help the child, like fix it immediately, you are not teaching them to be a young adult. You are not teaching them to be able to handle things, even if it is emotions. You should rather, instead of you say, let's say a child is angry, after naming the anger, or you are not even naming it. So if you want to name anger, you need to make sure that your child says, oh, I'm angry because, let's say, you were being let's say too hard on me. You're hungry because, so let the child be able to name exactly what is wrong with them. I am angry because you shouted at me. That child says that. The next thing, you're not like, yeah, I shouted at you. When I was your age, they don't want me well to tell my daddy, to tell my mommy this nonsense that you're telling me. They did not, you start saying, Or some will not even say that. Some will just be like, oh, oh, you're angry. Oh, I'm so sorry. I'm so like that is solution. Don't give them. You can you still say you're sorry, but calm down. Listen, let them pour out everything they want to pour out, and resist that urge to quickly hand them the solution. Nod. Take your time. Let them finish. Let them pour out their mind. Then you can assist them with the solution, not hand the solution over to them. Let them be able to have this sense of responsibility. Why do you think that some parents, especially very smart parents, they start allowing their kids to join all this fundraising, all these SDGs? Because there's something it teaches them. It is how they can offer solution to the world. As young as 12 years, they are already speaking about the SDGs, right? So when you run, or you've been with people who does fundraising, who does any of the SDGs, you would understand why um activities actually matter to kids, because it gives them this sense of responsibility, that they're actually responsible for something and for some people. And you can only build this thing. You cannot talk it into them. You can only build it. If you like, give them sermon, like talk about it from now till it will not yield anything. They need to actively participate, like they need to build it. So let's move on to in calm, which is, I think I've mentioned a bit about it when I was talking about listening, but I'll elaborate more on it now. It is like when you move forward together. What that means is that, okay, you've connected, right? And you've addressed the behavior, right? You've listened. The next thing is for you to actually collaborate with them, like work with them. Not that you're dictating that this is how we are going to do it and that is it final. Our parents used to do that time when they tell you to go to science class when you're in just 3 and your daddy say that it's doctor you will do. If they born you were go and register for art class, like you'll be in soup. So when that's how that's dictatorship. And this thing that we're talking about, when our government do it to us, we get angry, everybody come on social media and start lamenting, but we actually do it in our homes, and we do not realize it. So you need to collaborate with them, like you need to you could say things like, let's say, okay, so one of the things that we discuss about or try to collaborate about in this house is screen time. So they watch TV only on weekends, and now it's already they are about starting their exam next month, and we've stopped screen time for even the weekend. So no screen time throughout till after their exams. What did I do? We spoke about it before I stopped it. While they finished watching TV that weekend, I'm like, okay, because exam is coming, we are not going to be able to watch TV because you need to study more. And what am I going to do? After your exams, don't worry, I'm going to be giving you a lot more hours for screen time than we usually do, right? And oh, they were like, even though they were not so happy, but yeah, because I'm working with them, I did not just dictate that that's how we're doing it and that's fine now, right? So even when we schedule time for screen, and I say it is 2 hours, no, 1 hour. There was a time where we do 1 hour on Saturdays for screen per child, because I have 3, and they don't, all of them, they don't like the same programs. So let's say this one likes this one, another one, the other one would like another program. So how do we, and we have one TV, how do we want to make it work? So each child will have 1 hour. For 3 children, that's already 3 hours. Out of, in daytime is 12 hours. I mean, 3 hours is gone. They have, so they felt like even that 1 hour is too small per person. and because they have other activities that even takes less than 2 hours. I'm like, okay, I can do max 2 hours per child, and you can carry over your 2 hours to next day, where you can add to, the next day. So that way it feels to them like, okay, we are actually like collaborating on this. It is not just being dictated to them. We might see it as, oh, we are giving the children too much, power and freedom, and they might feel like maybe you are weak. No, it shows strength actually, because the strength that a lot of our own parents lacked, they feel like the dictatorship is what gave them strength, but that's actually weakness, because it means that they cannot actually like control their own emotions, right? Okay, so let's move forward. If there's any question about any part that I've explained, you can just like note it down, and we will we'll talk about it in the question and answer, right? So I mentioned that we are going to talk about how we can deal with these things, right? These emotions for the children. So let's talk about those the words that you should say, and the ones that you should never say to your children, because in emotions is action for children is not just what you do, is also what you say. So let's say something happened, and you want to like correct the child. Instead of why would you do that, the way we just lash out, why would you do that, why would you do that? So you can ask them a question instead, which is, help me understand. Hello, can you hear me?
Yes.
Oh, okay. So you can ask them question instead. How, like, help me understand what happened. Your child did something like very terrible, but you would not understand it in their own perspective if you don't even hear their perspective. And most times we do not want to even hear them. We just want them to. We are just so angry about whatever they did, right? So you could ask them to help you understand what exactly happened, what was going through their mind, what was the thoughts behind what happened, right? If they're able to give you the answer, then you'll be able to like wrap your head around why your child would actually do that particular thing, right? So let me give another example. It could be, I mentioned something that time that when I was your age, I did this, I've done that. I would have, even when I was your age, I would have done this better, right? Instead of all this, when I was your age, what we could actually do is, see, asking them questions actually solve a whole lot of things for our teens than we know. It could be like, oh, what feels hardest about this for you? Sometimes they're just struggling. They're struggling with a particular emotion. They're struggling with a particular thing, right? So we could help them by asking them, oh, what feels hardest about that thing for them? So that way you are able to understand where their mind even is, and you will be able to know how you can help them resolve it, right? How you can help them solve it. I'm going to be like running faster, so that by 6:30 we can round up, right? So sometimes our children do some things and we are like, stop overreacting. Why are you reacting this way? What, this small thing, why are you doing that? See if it is a whole lot. No, we need to acknowledge their feelings. Oh, you're feeling, how you are feeling makes sense, but let me know, what is it? Tell me about it. Tell me more about it. So once we are able to get them to tell us their feelings, it is very important that we hear from them. Because see, if you do not hear from your kids, it is very dangerous. How do you want to understand what's going on in their head? Children are very funny. A lot of things are actually running through their mind. like back to back through their mind. And the only way you can actually know is actually by asking them those questions. So acknowledging their feelings. Oh, yeah, oh, this makes sense. How you're feeling? Okay, but can I know more about it? Tell me more, right? There's another word that we mostly say a lot, which is, oh, I do everything for you. I do everything for you, and you are still behaving this way. Oh, mm-mm. Our own parents too, they did everything that they can for us, right? And we still turn out this way. Even though it might not be maybe like 100% what our parents wished with how we turned out, but yeah, we could actually do better. We could just acknowledge them and try to figure it out with them. So it could be like, oh, I love you, let's try and figure this out together. Even though that child has done like a very very grave thing, we could still acknowledge that we love them, and we help them walk through whatever that is together, right? So I mentioned earlier that we're going to be talking about building connection. See, this particular part we can even sleep on it, because when you actually build that connection with your child, there's nothing that you actually cannot solve any longer. So how can we actually like build this? And I'm going to be using like practical tools as example for us. um it is parents who actually builds connection with their child that are going to have better relationship with them in future. And this future I'm talking about is not like, it is very near. It's like nearest future, which is like 3 years from now, 4 years from now, 5 years from now. Some children, they would go to school and not have a single conversations with their parents. you know they even if they have conversation with their parent, their parent would not know exactly what's going on in their mind. They would not know their capability. Oh, if they, oh, this is what my child can do, this is what my child cannot do. Some parents cannot even attest to what their children are capable of doing. I watched a video one time during this school bullying saga, and I watched this video where when the school showed the parents the CCTV footage of what their child was doing to other kids in school, they could not believe their eyes that this boy that lives under their roof, can do such things. So that's parents who has not like built that connection within their child. You would not be able to know exactly what's going on in their head. So let me give you a practical example of how you can build this connection with you. It's not something so hard. It's something that we actually do every day, but we are not taking account of it. Like, we are not being aware that this is what we're actually doing. So it could be things like all these side by side conversations. You could like take a walk. You could, maybe when you are driving, you could be maybe you just find a task that you guys can do together. Okay, maybe let's um 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 the task could be something as simple as maybe you even homework inside the house, or you find something that needs repair in the house and you guys are repairing together, and you just have conversations about the most random thing ever, right? Maybe they are the one that wants to talk about random things, things that happen to them. And you know that when you give children this kind of space, or you give this time with them, they get to talk about even things that does not make sense, like that does not make sense in natural sense for an adult. They get to like just talk about it. And you guys can try the walk one. Take a walk, like a lot of things will be said during that walk, I promise you. Another way that you can, practical way that you can build connection is actually having like, there's this thing called check-in. So you could have like a particular day, or it could just be, or a particular time. So it could be like maybe weekends. You just have this check-in where you just have one question. It could be what's the hardest thing that happened to you this week? Or the question could be how do you feel about yourself this week? I know maybe something happened last week, or you guys have like a very um big week, like there was a whole lot of maybe activities in between. So you could just ask that, oh, um, what do you think about our whole, calendar for this week? How did it make you feel? Just that one question, and just listen. Let them like pour out their mind, even the necessary ones and unnecessary ones. Let them just talk. See, that conversations children don't forget, and they feel more relaxed to actually speak with you. So for parents of things that are having issue with having conversations, let's say your kid will just be telling you, and they do this one a lot. When you ask them that, how are you? I'm fine. What happened today, or what was clinical? Nothing. You are asking them because they say nothing, nothing. Everything, nothing is a lie. Children, something. There's always something. There's always something. So, but you could, you know, in during your checking questions, some of this something that you've been unable to get out of them can actually come out, right? And that way to like build connection is, I call it no phone window. So what that means is, there can be like a time of the week or day where you leave your gadgets and you are just present in the moment with them. So it could be that maybe they could be watching cartoon or anything, and you join them to watch that thing. They could be reading, you join them to read it, whatever they're reading. It could be maybe they're cleaning their house or they're doing their chores. You could just be there, and you could watch them do it, you could join them to do it. And that's one, oh my god, it builds it builds connection with kids a whole lot, because they just feel like, okay, you're present with them. And before you know it, you don't need to ask them anything. The conversations just come, or they just feel, even if you don't talk, they just, both of you just feel this calmness that, okay, you're just like in your space together. You're in their space, right? And they just feel this very comfortable with you, and they can easily just tell you anything. There's another one called the family table. So how that works is, for me, I like when we all eat together. So during the week, because there's school, there's this. Even if we don't eat breakfast and lunch together, we have to eat dinner together. So everybody eats at the same time and eat on a table. At that time, when children are eating, they can say the unthinkable. They can say the unthinkable. You think that food is giving them this, energy to just talk and say anything. They can talk when they're eating, even though during, food time you're not supposed to talk. If they have something like very important to say, you can give them that, allowance. Let them just, within a short time, let them just say whatever they want to say. You can get a lot out of them at that time as well, and it builds like connection as well. I love affirmations a lot. So I talk about affirmations. So it might not even be like a note. You might not even have to write it out. You can just, have some words that you you can say to them at intervals. So for people that like the note one, you could write it in a note, and you could put it in their bag. You could say to them the one for the note. You could put it in between their books and let them just open it as a surprise. So the words could be, it depends on what your child is doing at the moment. Even it could be, I see how hard you are working, you know because children love to be seen a whole lot. They love to be appreciated. So it could just be, well done, I could see everything you do. um so instead of managing them, telling them, oh, you do this, you do that, you do that, just that small thing that they've even done, acknowledge it, and let them know that you see it, right? And the last one for this building connection is, always make sure that you repair after conflict. It is very important. Even we as an adult, we most times do this. When you have a fallout with someone, you do not try to repair. We always just want to like break things and let it just break off. like that. So but with our teens, it is very important that after every conflict, make sure that you leave room for repair. You leave room for repair. If you know that they are the one that did the wrong, make sure that you call them to order, right? And let them apologize and you guys settle it. Like, don't just let things go silent. Things happen in the house. Don't let it just like, it has ended. I'm on live. Azal. I take a break. Kalida. Doing what? Sleeping. We are going to be back soon. Hello. Let me try and join. I think she's using the free Zoom. She's using Zoom. I'm still on live. I'm still on live.
I'm still on live.
When I said I'm still on live. Okay, we are back.
The call dropped again. So sorry.
All right, it's fine. Okay, so let me put this out. Okay. All right. So I was talking about repair after conflict. So we need to make sure that there's always we give space for repair. We don't just let things slide, because we need to aware that however we for whatsoever thing we are doing with our teens right now, we're actually building their character. So you see some people, they will say that, oh, they can keep malice for Africa. If you go and check the root cause of things like that, it is how they have been managed while they were young. And our parents, forget to realize that they were actually building our character. At this age is when they are building who they would, who they would be in future. And some habits that come with us from childhood is usually very, very difficult to unlearn when we grow, right, when we are an adult. So we need to understand that we actually we are training a prospective adult. So always make sure that you repair after conflict. Repair is not just for adult conflicts and all of that. Even for our children in the house, when there's anything, let's say they did something and you reprimand them, also make sure that you, after a while, you still like reach out to them to let them understand why that's why you took that particular action, right? So I'm going to be given, how many people do we have here now? I think people are trying to join back. Let me, because I want to
Yes,
give.
they are trying to join back.
Okay, they're trying to join back. Okay, I want to give scenarios, and I want someone to tell me what they would do in that scenario, just so I can know that. Let me draw. So, so for Mrs. Olawumi that is here, let me quickly drop this one. Because I noticed that the call is dropping after every 30 minutes. I want us to be done before the next 30 minutes so that it doesn't drop off again. Yeah. So I'm going to be using real life scenarios. So let's say your 14-year-old comes home and goes straight to his or her room and says nothing to you, right? When you ask the child, oh, how was your day or how was school? And she says, fine, and close the door back. How are you going to respond that to that particular scenario? You can unmute. In case you are talking, Madam Olaumi, you are still muted. Okay, you've unmuted now. So how are you going to, what will be your reaction?
Thank you, Coach Balqeez. I'm very grateful for this opportunity. Well, as a parent, if the child came home and I saw some little changes in her habits, entering in his room without even saying anything, I will leave him around for about 5 minutes. Later on, I will get there to knock the door. I ask him, is there any problem? If he's still not answering, then I will leave him for about another 10 minutes again. After that 10 minutes, I will go in to pet him, ask everything, how is school today? Is there anything that you feel you can share with me? With all this, you can be able to pet all this, what they need from what they need us to pet them at times. At times when you pet your child, at times you pet your teenagers at times, and you have been showing a sign of concern that you're concerned about their affairs. In one way or the other, he or she will be able to say one thing or the other to you. Not that we should be saying, if you like, don't talk to me, that's your own problem. If you are doing that, it will not help them. And it will not help us also. So we only need to help them, pet them, speak gently with them, say, can we pray? Can we talk? What is it? Do you want me to help you with anything? I hope with that, you will be able to speak out whatever passing through at that moment as a parent.
Thank you so much, Mama. I really like your perspective, and it shows that you've been listening, and also it's something that you practice. I can see how you excellently answered that. Yeah. So for everyone on this live, thank you so much for your time. Yes, she's actually very, very right. You give them some time. It could be from 5 minutes to 30 minutes is fine, and then you can go back and knock. And even some children, even when you go back and knock, they're still not ready to have the conversations, but just let that child know that you are here when they are ready. So at every point in time, let them know that you are here when they are ready. So that gives them this, when they are ready to talk, they would actually talk to you. So I'm going to give example of what we should not do at that time, which is maybe shouting on them that you are rude. Why will you slam the door? Why will you do this? I am talking to you, talk to me. Trying to force the words out of them. We are not supposed to do that, and it's not going to actually help the situation. So thank you so much, Mama. I really appreciate you. Yes, you're welcome. I saw someone joined now, but I think she dropped. I think she dropped.
This is the network. We are having a very pure network in Nigeria.
Oh, sorry about that. Should I be laughing? Sorry about that. All right. So I let's see if we'll have more people join soon. Maybe I should summarize what we've talked about, then come back to the scenarios. I have about 2 more scenarios to go, and I really love that the people that were here earlier in the call to be the one to answer them, just so I can see if oh, thank God someone joined back.
Yes.
All right, Madam Rukayat, you joined right in time to answer question. No, unmute yourself.
Yeah, good evening.
Good evening, Mama. Thanks for joining
Yeah,
back.
good evening, everyone. Good evening, man. From Manchester.
You said? I didn't get that.
I think from Manchester.
Hey, welcome. That's that's
Welcome.
yes,
Thank you so
welcome
much.
here. So you are the one answering our scenario 2 question. Were you here earlier? Were you on this call earlier?
I was, but it broke down, so
Yeah, so
I
you
was
joined back
unable to join. So I'm just joining back.
again.
So I
Okay.
don't know what you are talking about again.
Okay, and just give me your best answer. Like, just give me your best answer.
What's your question?
Okay, so my question is, let's say your 13-year-old explodes over being asked to put his plate away. He shouts, "You never let me rest," and storms off. What will be your reaction?
That's one of the things that is happening to me. Exactly. My 13-year-old boy, sometimes when he finish eating, he will just put his plate down. I will say it first time, pack your plate, go and wash it. He will do like he didn't hear me. Second time, so the third time I will just leave him. So he will just carry it by himself to go and wash it. That's all. I don't know, maybe it's right, but I don't. Uh, Before I used to shout, but now I don't usually shout at him. Say it one second time, he didn't answer me, so he will go by himself to go and do it. I hope I'm correct. I don't know.
All right. So there's actually not like a okay, I would say there's right and wrong, but yeah, from what you just like narrated right now, I want to first tell you that it's actually very very common among teens. Like, I don't think that there's no matter the kind of parenting style you use, I feel like you would still encounter this in their teenagers because of their hormones is actually very very dysregulated right now. They are trying to understand who they are, what they are capable of, and that can come off in different they will show it in with different emotions. I don't know if you were in the emotions when you were here when we were talking about the emotions, right? So they might tend to forget things. They might tend to feel lazy about doing things and listening to
Yes.
instructions. They or some of them even go as far as being they want to be alone. They don't, in fact, all your family can be in the sitting room. The teenager would want to like go to his room and just lock the door and just be there. They want to, instead of being proactive, they just want to lazy around, like they don't want to do anything,
Yes.
right?
Anything.
So
Yes.
it's can you hear my son? He said you are describing me.
That's exactly what you are saying. That is my son. Exactly. If even to wake him up in the morning, he feels lazy. To tell him to do something, you will not want to do it.
Yeah.
All what you are describing is exactly my son. And with what you just said, that emotion. So how are we going to deal with that?
Yeah,
How
so
can
I'm going
we
to
deal with
explain that, and I think in what I'll do is I prepared a slide. I'm going to be sending it over. You joined from my group, right? You joined from
Yes,
Vicky
yes,
Parenting.
yes,
Oh, okay.
yes.
I'm going to be sending it to the group so that you can still go over it, right? And I'll send it to Madam Tolulope as well, so that you can send it to your people as well. So because I think you missed some part of, I talked about calm, you know. So
Yeah.
in that calm, there are ways that you could manage this. I'm also going to be answering this your own question as well, so that you know how to help your son better. See, at this time, we don't need force, we don't need dictatorship, right? At this their level, what we actually need is connection and guidance. So you need to actually connect with them first. So let's say we've talked about the scenario where you've taught them. See, I started teaching my son how to bathe himself, how to wash plates since age 5.
Oh,
Since age 5, my 7-year-old bathes himself, brush himself, does like he can prepare himself. I can't remember the last time I picked clothes for him. Like he dress himself, he does things himself. But my teenage too can do it though, exactly. But now with this teenage hormones, he just does not want to do it. But
that is what I wanted to say. Sorry about that. I wanted to say that they know what to do, but they will not want to do it.
yes, so that's the stage they are in, and we need to just connect with them. So what you can do in this particular one is you speak with them first. Forget about that plate and establish connection with that child first. And how can you do that is to acknowledge that what they are feeling at that time, which is, it could be, oh, I noticed that you were really tired earlier, and sometimes they're actually very tired. 18, we already put a lot of pressure on them at this age. They close school late than when they were still younger. Some of them does a lot of activities and all. It is not an excuse. They can still do this and still function properly, right? So you need to acknowledge that behavior. Oh, I noticed you were really tired earlier because you did not carry your plate. You already acknowledge, the fact that you understand that he was tired. Then you go back to that plate. So you've established connection first before talking about the plate. When you do that consecutively, like several times, it just build their thinking, because they're actually trying to understand how. Right now, the 7-year-old, you are still telling them what to do, you're still training them, but them now, they are aware that, oh, they are now teenagers, they can actually do things. How will I be? They can actually be their self. Like, they don't necessarily have to listen. They don't necessarily have to do whatever you ask them to do. But you know that they need to listen to you. They need to do things that you want them to do. So now you need to guide them properly, because how you handle their situation right now is what will help them build their character, because that's what they're actually trying to do. They're trying to identify themselves. They're trying to know themselves right now. They are building their own character. The way you have your own character right now, it was built from right when you were teen. And the way your parents handled it that time is what helped you turn out the way that you turn out right now. You see some adults, they still have that all this behavior we are complaining about right now. Some adults still have it. I hope you know. Some adults are very lazy. If you help them look for a job, they will not go for the job. Or even if they go, their employer will be complaining. They are not looking forward to life. Like, they will see other people succeeding. They are not, their brain is not wired to think that, okay, I can do this thing, I can do better than this person, let me put in effort. They cannot even plan. Some of them cannot plan their life. They cannot plan that, okay, today I'm going to read, tomorrow I'm going to go for, let's say I'm going to go for an outing, I'm going to start exercise, some adults cannot make their self, do things. It is because of how their parents handled that they are teenagers. So even though you have to, and we parents, we need to understand that you need to repeat as much time. Don't ever get tired of repeating yourself to your kids. And don't be discouraged. They can hear you. They can remember. If you are not there, if you are the parent that repeats and you don't get tired of repeating, you will be surprised that they would behave very, very good if you are not there.
Okay, you are right.
So there's pressure. For example, when they go to school, there's pressure. Oh, where's the homework? Oh, there's class. Oh, there's this. Oh, I need to play with my kids. When they get home, they want to feel like they are home, and they want to, it feels like women, when you go out and you get back in, the way you just remove your bra, you remove your shoe, you remove your, that's how it feels for them in that teenage. They just want to be themselves at home. So we need to allow them be themselves, even though it does not mean that you would tolerate those behaviors, but give them that grace. So what I won't want you to do with the scenario you answered is you telling them that you didn't speak to me that way, go to your room, or you are banned from this and that, or talk to them in a very, very harsh manner. That is not advisable. It wasn't the matter. It wasn't it. So make sure that you're giving them grace. Right? So we have this third scenario, which is, let's say you find out your 15-year-old lied about where she was. Maybe she went to you sent that child to somewhere and she went elsewhere. So or she went to a friend house that you do not even know that friend, right? My question would be, what would be you found out, what would be your reaction? Anyone on this life can actually answer that. Madam Olawumi, would you help us answer that?
Well, straight on.
Yes,
what I just discussed now happened just yesterday with my teenager for 17 years. Actually, she told me she's going to a market to get a facial cleanser. And later on, he said, you didn't get the facial cleanser from where I knew. And he went to a shopping mall. From that shopping mall, he moved down to his friend's house without calling. I was calling about 7 times to this answer. And I was seriously annoyed. You know what I did? A senior brother is at home. I called the senior brother and reported to him. I called her senior sister and reported to her. So then I didn't say anything. Later on, maybe the two of them put a call across to her. She now called. I did not pick it. So when she came back, she just said, I'm sorry. I went to my friend's place. I said, but you didn't tell me you are going to dance. And I said, the reason why I've been saying this is that the security of this nation is not all that good. Exactly. Let me know wherever you are. I said, let me know wherever you are. I know the place you are going to, but you're supposed to have people told you. You told me you are in a certain place before, and I started calling your number. You refused to call you to pick the call. And when she come by, just say, Mommy, I'm sorry. I said, okay. About 20 minutes later, she came out of her room and said, Mommy, what do you want to eat? I said, no problem. Just go and get something at least. And I didn't say anything. But having this morning, about 10 o'clock, when I was even saying, I don't even know what to do, she started beside me, and very close to me. I said, the reason why I'm talking, why I'm shouting yesterday, this is the reason why. Be careful. This world is now porous. The insecurity in Nigeria, nobody can say anything about it. Don't think I'm just shouting. I'm just talking about the security. Let me know wherever you are. So if there's anything that happens wherever you are, we know where to trace you. I said that's the reason why I'm shouting. I was even discussing with her about finance. I said, if you have money, keep your money. Not that whenever you are given any money, you have anything, you said, I want to buy this, I want to buy that. I said, impulse buying is not advisable now. That if you see anybody giving you anything now, appreciate that person and know how to keep money now. It is not everything that you be saying, I want to buy this, I want to buy that. At your head, you should be able to save. Don't buy anything. That's what I did yesterday. This morning. And that is how we settle everything.
Oh, thank you so much.
I called her, we said we need to prepare, there's no enough soup at home. I said, let me transfer some money to you, go and get it. And she went to the market to get it and prepare everything. And that is all. That's how we settle it. You know, our teenagers now want you to study them very well. If you don't study them, you just be shouting, crying, do all that things, and the pain will be too much for you as a parent. I could remember I went to her school about a month ago, and I talked to her and her other friends and her. But I know she's used to this life. You do not even call you. You can call you once in a week. You just like, my mommy, good morning. But by the time I see my mother, oh, I know she's not in need of something. So these are the kind of triggers we have now. As a parent, if you continue shouting, doing all these things, you are only affecting our heads. The only thing they do is to study them, to be calm, and to pray for them. That's the thing, because of the kind of people they are now moving with, especially when they are already in the higher institution now. They move with a lot of people. They see a lot of things. So at times you'll be saying something, they'll be saying another thing. Now they will prove to you that they know more than you. So as a parent, you just have to come down to their level. Just because I corrected her yesterday that because of the festival that is going on, you cannot travel from one place to the other. First of all, feel reluctant and I didn't say anything. And I'm used to that. Once I correct you, I will just be looking at you. Later this morning, I said, are you still going to say I'm not going because you said I should not go? I said no. I'm not saying you should not go. I said the festive period this time around, there's a lot of hold up, there's a lot of jamboree going on. There's no need for you to move now. You can move the other day. And I said, when are you now leaving? He said, I'm not leaving today. I'm leaving on Sunday. I said, praise God. That is all. That is all. Well, before we get to this level, it was a tug of war. It was a tug of war between me and him. We can be seen as if two adults are fighting. Because he'll be proving to you that he knows what he's doing. He'll be proving to you that he knows more than you. But you now study her, come down to her level now. So we don't have to problem now. If I asked you to do this, you asked me to do it, but you didn't remind me. Look at that. If you remind me, I will know what to do. I said, And I said, should I be reminding you all the time? When you are in school, do you expect your lecturer to remind you to read your book? To remind you have a test? He said that one is school.
So this one is home.
That one is school. This home, you keep on reminding me, you keep on telling me. I say, okay, God will help you. So it is only God that can help us parents with the situation we find ourselves with the teenagers now. They behave as if they are older than you. They behave as if they know more than you. And if care is not taken, you are going to lose them. You will lose them to the world if care is not taken. So at times, you just have to look as if you don't see anything. You just have to behave you don't hear anything. That is what we can do now as a parent. And I think God will help us.
Amen.
It is not how we do. We only need prayer. Thank you very much, man.
Yeah, thank you so much for your time. Like, even I listening alone, I've learned a lot from you as well. And yeah, you actually like did the right thing with how you handled the scenario. Uh, Most times, especially when they've passed from like their 12, the best time to capture them is when they're early teens, when they're in their 12 and 13. How you handle it in those early years actually show when they're in their like late teens and young adults. Even when they're in their young adult, like the 17 and 18 now, it's still not too late. And the way Madam Olaomi is handling it now is so much better, and it would help him better than when it was a tug of war. Because when children start acting that way and your own reaction is you are matching their energy, like the way they are, you are matching their energy, it does not fix them. It just gives them more energy to like counter you, right? So yeah, the perfect answer is you staying calm, you acknowledging even your own feelings. Like, I was worried, the way you told him that you were worried, you were not even angry that he went somewhere else, but you just need to understand, you are just worried that number one thing for early teens, how you can counter that is letting them know that you are even worried that they could not tell you that. because for the success of this is, let's say your child decides to go somewhere else instead of where they said they were going. It is successful, like all your training is successful if that child felt the need to tell you rather than hide it from you, right? So you should be more worried about why they did not actually tell you. That is what should that is what should be the basis of your conversation, not even the fact that they went anywhere. The basis of your conversation with them should be about the trust, the fact that they did not trust you enough to tell you that they had a change of plan, or this is where I intentionally want to go. Because some of them, it is that place they went to go that they intentionally want to go. They just gave you the other one as, okay, that's the one they know that you would accept, right? So where the ending of that conversation should go should be the trust, that they do not trust you enough to let you know. So when you are able to bridge that, gap of trust, then you can like have your mind rested that in future, after like that particular one, they would like make better decisions. Right. Thank you so much, Ma, for answering the second question. So I'm just going to go over everything. Thank you guys for staying till now. We really took like a whole lot of time, but I'm very sure that you guys, you got value. So I'm going to just break down from all the things that we talk about, and I'll just give you like some few words for myself. What I'm taking away from this is that our teenagers are actually not broken. It's just that their brain is just still developing, and they need more patience than punishment from us. We need to understand that. Also, every difficult behavior is actually communicating something to us. They're like, it's communicating an emotion, and once you are able to grab the emotion that they are communicating, then your job is now to get curious about that emotion, what you should do about it, instead of you reacting to that emotion. So when you shout at them, when you try to force things out, it is you reacting. You are not getting curious in helping them, right? So we talked about connection before correction, yeah, which is what we even still maintain in this last conversation that we had now. So try to like connect with them before actually correcting them, always, right? Because when your team feels like they are close to you, they get to listen to you better. Another thing we talked about is the words you use, right, matters a lot. How you actually have that conversation with them matters a lot. How you arrange your points matters a lot. So make sure that you choose the word that just keep things open, right? Ask questions instead of concluding. So when you say that, why did you do this? You did it, you are concluding. But when you ask questions, okay, would you let me know why you made this decision, right? Would you let me know why you would prefer to shut the door at me instead of actually having the conversation with me? So that is you keeping it open, and you are leaving space for conversation, and not being in tug of war with them, right? Another thing we talked about is, another thing I would like to like leave you with is, you do not need to be a perfect parent. You just need to be like a present one for them, and you are willing to unlearn all the things that you have learned that is not actually working for you, and start relearning the ones that would work for you. Because I know that a whole lot of us, we've had a whole lot of parenting which maybe is trainings, like maybe the ones we got from our parents, or the one we got from the street. Some of us, even on our journey into parenthood, we've had a whole lot of things. But when you are doing those things and you see that this thing is not working for me, my child is not changing also, you need to learn to unlearn and start relearning new ones that would actually help you in actual sense, right? If there's any question, I think that we've come to the end of this particular conversation. So if you have any question, I'm open to answering them before we call it a day. Okay, I think we have 5 minutes left. All right. So in the absence of question, I always say that most of us, especially myself, we didn't get a blueprint into parenthood. So for me, I decided that I'm going to build one for myself, and that is what I actually started teaching, parents right now. So we can all do that. So thank you for being here today, and BQ, by the way.
Thank you, man. We really appreciate you, man. Can we all say thank you to her? Thank you, man. Thank you so much.
You're
We
welcome.
really
Thank you.
enjoyed you. Thank you, man.
Thank you too.
Yeah.
How did I get here?
Thank you.
All
So
right.
thank
Have
you
an
for
amazing day.
joining us.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Me have dropped. But how did I